minds and steal their nerves with four simple words that have been whispered by the intrepid since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.
Well, it looks like fortune doesn't exactly favor the brave after all, at least for the moment, after one of cryptocurrency's most volatile weeks since 2018. So actor Matt Damon might have to eat his words from this viral ad for crypto.com. This ad first aired in October of last year, and when it did, Bitcoin was at around $60,000. So 1,000 worth of Bitcoin invested then, worth around $481 today. And look at all of these headlines this morning after what happened yesterday. Fear and panic dominated the last 24 hours for crypto investors as the conditions went from bad to absolutely appalling. But after more than $200 billion was erased from crypto markets in a single day, much of it from stablecoins, digital currencies are making a slight bounce back at this hour. We do have Bitcoin back above 30,000, holding there. Ethereum back above 2,000. But, you know, we really watched Bitcoin plunging to lows of 25,000 yesterday. So as we continue to watch each of these names, we should mention the Tether, the world's largest stablecoin, has regained its dollar peg after more than $3 billion worth of tokens were withdrawn following Terra USD's collapse. So how did digital assets, how did they, designed to be stable fuel in a crash, pegged to the dollar, how did they end up on the precipice of a crypto winter or a full-out ice age? It's not bad for everybody. Let's bring in Off the Chain Capital President Brian Dixon. Off the Chain is a hedge fund that invests in discounted Bitcoin and owns equity positions in undervalued digital asset firms such as Kraken. All right, Brian, are you saying that a day like yesterday is something you wait for in your business?
So in our business, when the markets react like they have in the last couple of days, our investable universe actually expands. So it's good time for us to find these deeply discounted valuable assets.
Okay, so when we have a banner that says winter is coming, you're looking at it as springtime.
Yeah, this is exactly the time that strives with our strategy with Off the Chain, because when the markets go into a downtrend like this, we find more sellers that are forced or motivated, willing to take deeper discounts on the assets. And that actually allows us to garner these assets in a time like this and be patient so we can harvest them in the future.
When you saw what happened yesterday, explain to our viewers how you looked at it, particularly through the lens of stablecoins, which are supposed to be pegged to the U.S. dollar. And suddenly, not only did they go below a dollar, it was a run on the bank and a mass liquidation. And I believe even with, say, for example, Luna, which is one of the stablecoins for Terra, we looked at that and I mean, that went to a penny or so, and it appeared that 60 billion, I think that was the number, were knocked off that system here. Do you look at that as a purge that shakes out the people who were never really committed in the first place?
So it's definitely a purge, and you're accurate in what you said. So what initially triggered this was when the Fed adjusted rates, it had impacts on most sectors, including Bitcoin and digital assets, and this created a mass sell-off. And you know, Warren Buffett used to say that when the tide goes out, you see who is swimming naked. And this is exactly what happened. And who was swimming naked in crypto was the stablecoin Luna UST. You see, this platform failed, and this really created a dislocation in the market. And like you noted, it was a $60 billion failure from its peak. And it was a run on the bank, and the value dropped to zero, and it really just became a death spiral. And since crypto trades 24 hours a day, all that stress in the system cleared out in about 24 hours. And so the failure of Luna was purged out of the system, and now everything's coming back. And this is really one of the benefits of a truly liquid market that trades 24/7. It allows the failures to fail out naturally, and then it creates a healthy system afterwards.
Well, healthy, but it appears kind of dangerous. Let me push you on this. You know, some investors have lost their life savings in the blink of yesterday's eye. YouTube star KSI, I don't know if you know that YouTube star, but they reported losing, I think it's a he, $2.8 million after Luna's crash. How do you advise your clients, your investors who say, wait a minute, what am I supposed to deal? How am I supposed to deal and absorb this and what happened yesterday?
Well, the first thing I would tell them is I would never advise to listen to people pumping crypto on YouTube. That's never a great idea. What I would advise is that what we do with Off the Chain is, we're seeking value. We're value managers in the space. And so we're trying to find unique ways where you can find undervalued assets. And these are the markets where that happens. When you do have downtrends in the market, you have to be careful. Crypto is still an evolving nascent technology. Yeah. It's emerged tremendously over the last decade, but it's growing quickly. And there is a lot of value in the networks, but there's also a lot of scams out there. So you really have to be careful when you're evaluating these different crypto assets because they're really still going through this period of evolution.
Well, at 29 or 30,000, do you think Bitcoin is a deal here?
Yeah, actually, during the sell-off, we took a look at the fundamentals of the Bitcoin network, and it is still very strong. The total hash rate of the mining network continues to grow. The number of Bitcoin wallets continues to grow. The utility of the network itself continues to expand, and the number of institutions that are entering the space is growing as well. And so when we looked at the value of the network, the Bitcoin models that we use today show that Bitcoin should be somewhere around 48,000 up to 180,000. And so when we see it at $30,000 today, it's a good value, and it's something that people should be studying.
Brian, you're scooping up distressed assets just like Buffett would at a time like this. Just a lot of people don't understand the assets at this moment, but as you say, it's early in this, of course, incipient stage of this new expanding world. Brian, thank you very much.
Thanks, Liz. Take care.
You too.